Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including new paint colors for the Model 3 and Y, Tesla's first V4 Superchargers showing up in the United States, all of the state-level rebates and tax credits available when purchasing a Tesla, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla's first V4 Supercharger in the US has been spotted in Wilsonville, Oregon. These are their next generation chargers, which they've started opening in Europe. This new charger will likely be much faster since it's designed to accommodate the Cybertruck and even the Tesla Semi. Elon revealed that Tesla has already been utilizing V4 technology for their mega chargers installed by PepsiCo, but those are private and only equipped with megawatt charging system plugs specifically to charge the Tesla Semi. This new charger in Oregon will likely be equipped with NACS, which would of course be open to all Teslas and eventually all EVs. Many thought this also could be for the Semi, but it definitely didn't seem likely given the location, and now we have closer photos. In this photo, we got a rare look at them before their outer layer had been installed. Here they are the next day, just about fully installed. These chargers should enable faster charging speeds, and they have much longer cables, about 3 feet longer than V3 chargers. That would make it much easier for non-Tesla EVs to charge here. A longer cable will help the Cybertruck charge as well, since we saw it was a tight squeeze at other superchargers. That increased charging speed will also be important for the Cybertruck, which has Tesla's largest battery pack to date, at least as far as we know. Construction for this one actually started back in August, but it looked like it was going to be another V3 charger until recently. It'll reportedly open later this month, at which point we'll know for sure what this charger is capable of in the US. To start, it will likely only offer 250 kilowatt peak speeds, since no Tesla shipped thus far can charge faster than this, but that's expected to see upgrades over time as the Cybertruck launches. Over in Alabama, another V4 Supercharger has been spotted installing as well, and we got a close-up showing that at least some of these will have the Magic Dock and payment terminal integrated into them. That means that non-Tesla EVs charging here won't need the Tesla app or their own converter once they're open. This is incredibly convenient and should help Tesla keep expanding their lead in the charging space. At the same time, in Hong Kong, Tesla opened up their first V4 Supercharger for that area. It seems they're expanding with V4 in many different areas, and I'm excited to see where V4 ends up going and how much it's able to improve over the current, very good and reliable V3 Superchargers. Next up today, Tesla has introduced some new colors for the Model Y and 3, but in a different way than before. For a long time now, with both of these cars, Tesla has only offered 5 colors in total: white, black, gray, blue, and red, some of which cost an upgrade up to $2,000 to add. Out of their Berlin factory though, Tesla has introduced Midnight Cherry Red and Quicksilver for the Model Y only. I'm out in Europe right now, so I've been able to see a few of these, and these colors do look awesome in person. I saw Midnight Cherry Red at the Tesla store in Milan, and have seen multiple Quicksilvers on the street. I personally think this is the best color for the Model Y. For the Model 3 refresh out of Shanghai as well, they've introduced Ultra Red and Stealth Gray. These both look great, but still fall quite a bit into the category of the colors they've been shipping for a while. The hope is that soon enough, Tesla will introduce new colors out of Giga Texas. In the meantime, many customers opt to buy a base model and have it wrapped the color that they want. These wraps have dual function as well, protecting the car's paint while changing the Model 3 or Y to the color of your choice. They are also available in matte. Then there is a clear PPF that simply protects the car's paint and keeps its color. These are usually quite pricey and are a completely third-party process, but now Tesla is offering them from their own service centers. They are offering 6 new colors, and prices range from $7,500 to $8,000. This is a steep cost, but comes in at par with what others charge for full-body wrap surfaces like this. The available colors are Satin Stealth Black at $7,500, Glacier Blue at $8,000, Satin Rose Gold at $8,000, Slip Gray at $7,500, Forest Green at $8,000, Satin Ceramic White at $8,000, and Crimson Red at $8,000. They also mention Clear Gloss and Clear Satin. Tesla adds, quote, "Wrap your Model 3 or Model Y in one of our premium color wraps, only available through Tesla. Offered in 7 exclusive colors, this self-healing urethane-based film protects the paint beneath from chips, scratches, and swirling. Purchase price includes cost of materials and installation. Current participating Tesla service centers include West Covina, California, and Carlsbad, California. That's only 2 locations, but the assumption is that this will expand quite a bit in the future. It's also likely that these are some of the most popular places where Tesla owners get their cars wrapped or paint protected. For now, it's only available on 2023 plus Model 3 and Model Y. It will take 5 to 7 business days, and you will not be given a loaner during its install. That 2023 requirement may seem odd, but it seems to purposely rule out any cars with ultrasonic sensors. That makes them a bit easier to wrap for Tesla. Some have said that this could happen before delivery, but it looks like it may happen post-delivery and that there's no way to pre-configure your car with this. Long term though, that would be a great option, adding these wraps as an option from the quote factory, even if it's performed at your local delivery center. This is cool to see for the Model Y, but is really showing us what could be coming for the Cybertruck. Tesla is offering their first in-house wraps in the US for the Model 3 and Y, but the Cybertruck is the one they've been showing off in the wild with multiple wraps. It also won't come in any colors, so wraps will be the only way to change colors on this truck. Right now, this is just launching and only coming to 2 service centers, and it's likely setting Tesla up to expand as the Cybertruck ramps. That's exciting to see since we've seen a number of cool and funny wraps on the Cybertruck out in the wild. Next up today, a quick note about tax credits for Tesla vehicles. My last video detailed how the federal EV tax credit is changing to be a point of sale credit in 2024. That will come with a number of advantages over the way the tax credit is currently set up, but one great avenue for many customers comes with stacking credits. There are often utility incentives, but Tesla tweeted recently about the top state credits that their cars can get. This research was out there, but sometimes difficult to find, so here it is all at once. In Maine, you can get $7,500 off. Colorado, $5,000 off, more if you trade in a gas vehicle too. Vermont, $5,000. Connecticut, $4,250. Illinois, $4,000. New Jersey, $4,000. Massachusetts, $3,500. Maryland, $3,000. Delaware, $2,500. New York, $2,000. And Pennsylvania, $2,000. They link here to a full website detailing credits and what will make you eligible. Also, you can click on your particular state to see exactly what you could qualify for. It's a very smart thing to check when buying a Tesla because you could very well save a few $1,000s just by researching a little bit. Next up today, we often talk about how big Tesla's lead is in certain ways, but one of the biggest ways to look at it is general vertical integration. More than any company in their space, they're expanding in impressive ways, bringing things in-house and improving them in many ways. This leads to a better product, better optimized for their needs at a lower cost. It also gives them control over things when they need to change it. Recently, we've heard about 2 pieces here which relate to the very start of production, the raw materials, and the very end of life on a car, recycling. Tesla's new lithium refinery in Robstown, Texas is reportedly slated to start production in Q1 next year. This is their first attempt at doing it themselves. Their senior manager of operations said, quote, "We will begin commissioning the assets roughly the first of next year, and that will continue in earnest over the first half of next year. They will start ramping up production the latter half of next year." He also said the surrounding property is well suited for a future expansion, so we could see this refinery grow next year as well. For now, it'll employ 165 people to fill high-paying positions, including most recently a senior metallurgical chemical engineer. At the same time, they plan to launch their own cell recycling pilot plant to achieve metal recovery at the end of a battery pack's life. That will be located at Giga Nevada, according to other recent job postings. They announced in January that they would be opening 2 new facilities near that factory that would employ more than 3,000 people. One would focus on the Semi, and the other would focus on 4680 batteries. Recently, a ton of jobs were posted for Semi production, so it makes sense that we're now seeing jobs posted for cell manufacturing. A couple weeks ago, they started looking for cell recycling operators that would be, quote, "responsible for the equipment operation and overall production output of the cell recycling pilot plant." They described this position as an opportunity to drive Tesla toward closing the loop on battery recycling. This is the first time we've heard mention of a dedicated recycling plant, even though Tesla's battery packs had been fully recyclable and recycled for a long time. According to their last impact report, their plan to start recycling their own materials would be achieved first with physical deconstruction, then thermal processing, and then qualification of material and sorting. That last step has since changed to metals recovery. Once they lock down a strategy for recovering metals from recycled material at this new facility, that'll be great news for the environment and reduce their dependency on newly refined materials even further. They currently say none of their scrapped lithium-ion batteries go to landfilling and 100% are recycled. So they're already recycling batteries that have reached their end of life, but as they scale up and more cars reach their end of life in the coming years and decades, they'll need this extra capacity for additional processing. The more materials Tesla can get from recycling, the further costs will drop for them, which will hopefully be reflected in their vehicle prices. Tesla has been working on vertical integration from the ground up for a while now, and this is one more step towards Tesla no longer being reliant on pretty much any other company. In addition to the obvious ones like supplying their own motors, they're soon going to be refining their own lithium and recycling their own batteries at the end of life for additional material supply. That vertical integration will also help them increase their production efficiency and cut costs in big ways that will play out long term. Next up today, right after slashing prices in the US, Tesla raised prices on some of their vehicles in Europe. First, they dropped the price of the Model 3 and Y in the US by as much as $2,250. Every configuration got a price cut except for the Model Y rear-wheel drive, which had recently been introduced. Then they raised the price of the Model Y in Sweden and Norway. In Sweden, the increase was around $1,364, with the rear-wheel drive Model Y now starting around $52,210 there. In Norway, prices were increased by between $1,822 and $2,186 US. Tesla's vehicle prices pretty closely follow market demand, so these price cuts in the US are likely to help with Q4 delivery numbers. These aren't the most substantial cuts we've seen from Tesla this year after their infamous $13,000 drop earlier this year. After a slew of price adjustments between January and March, their prices seem to be stabilizing. I'm not too sure about Tesla's prices staying the same for too long though, because they're known at this point to make consistent adjustments. But according to one Wedbush analyst, they are stabilizing. These price cuts are, quote, mostly in the rearview mirror, providing stability in prices going forward. We believe Tesla is now set to be entering the next stage of growth for the company globally, with the Model 3 refresh front and center in China and Cybertruck production set to kick off. Of course, whether Tesla's prices continue to dip or not doesn't translate directly to the health of the company. They're just responding to short-term shifts in the market. Tesla still owns the largest share of the EV market in the US by a long shot, and I don't expect them to lose that lead anytime soon. Any day now, they're expected to start delivering the Cybertruck 2, so that's definitely going to boost delivery numbers in Q4 and on. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Rivian has released a new software update that introduces a new UI. A new Drive Modes app gives a comprehensive visual of the vehicle and improves range estimates while towing. Drivers now have a visual overview of the environment and vehicle. In Gauge View, drivers can see information like battery temperature, motor temperature, tire pressure, and trip data. You can also select the optimal mode for a trip based on terrain, road conditions, and more. On top of that, they're improving charging data accurately, reduced active grille shutter noise after waking from sleep, and fixed several bugs. Then, of course, they've brought back Halloween mode in preparation for Halloween, which turns pedestrian visualizations into zombies and changes the internal LED strip to orange. Last year, I think it was red, so we'll have to see about that this year. Then, when you lock the vehicle, it plays an owl sound in place of the usual bird chirp. Lucid has announced that the first Air Sapphire has rolled off the assembly line at their factory in Casa Grande, Arizona. They released a picture of it going through ADAS system calibrations and said customer deliveries will begin soon. This is their most powerful model with twin rear motors and a third motor up front. It has a 427-mile EPA range and a 0 to 60 in 1.89 seconds, beating the Model S Plaid by 0.1 seconds. That comes at a price tag of $249,000 though. At the same time, they've launched their more affordable rear-wheel drive Air Pure variant. Starting at $77,400, the Air Pure still gets a 410-mile range. Its single motor delivers a 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, which is 1.4 seconds slower than the dual motor all-wheel drive Model S, starting just under $75,000 with a 405-mile range. Overall, the Air Pure seems pretty competitive, and Lucid fans are surely excited that this luxury vehicle is now a little more in reach. Honda has finally debuted their first true EV option, the Prologue SUV. It will ride on GM's Ultium platform and is 7 inches longer than the CR-V. It features a smooth, minimalist exterior and takes on an almost station wagon-like shape. Inside, it still has buttons and knobs on the dash for AC and seat adjustments, in addition to the center screen and center console storage. Though it has ample storage in the rear, it doesn't have a front trunk. It'll come in 2 variations, a single motor front-wheel drive or a dual motor all-wheel drive. The single motor should get around 300 miles of range, while the dual motor should get around 280 miles, but those ranges haven't been confirmed. It'll also have 3 trims, EX, Touring, and Elite, likely with the most expensive one coming out first. Even the base model will ship with a bunch of features though, like heated front seats, lumbar support, dual climate controls, and a wireless phone charger. For charging, they include an 11.5 kilowatt home charger or a 7.6 kilowatt portable charging kit. Those both come with a $100 public charging credit and a $500 installation incentive. If you're unable to charge at home though, you can get a $750 public charging credit. This car should start between $45,000 and $50,000, though the top trim will likely be a lot more than that. It'll be available to order this year with deliveries early next year. I'm very glad to see Honda properly entering the EV game, and hopefully we'll hear more EVs announced by them soon. For now, the Prologue seems to be fairly competitive, but we'll have to see when it actually releases. Ford has paused production on their $3.5 billion EV battery plant in Marshall, Michigan, and plans to further limit their spending until they are, quote, confident about their ability to competitively run the plant. They didn't mention if this had anything to do with the United Auto Workers strike, but that's definitely not helping the situation at this time. The plant was slated to begin LFP battery production in 2026 and would employ 2,500 people. It also would have helped them reduce their EV prices and account for around 20% of their forecasted global production. They say they haven't made any final decisions regarding the plant's future, so whether or not this is a temporary pause is unclear. At the same time, dealer stock orders for the 2023 Ford F-150 Lightning have been canceled across the United States. Reportedly, Ford has confirmed the pickup trucks are undergoing additional quality checks at their Rogue Electric Vehicle Center, but dealers are reporting the orders have been canceled. This dealer reports that their Lightning order is no longer being built. At this point, it's unclear how long this production pause will last, but this is sure to lead to some unhappy customers. Hopefully, production is able to resume soon enough. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see all the details for the changing US federal tax credit in 2024, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.